Hello everyone, welcome back to the John Trading channel. You can see here on Bitcoin that we're failing to break to the upside. We're also failing to break to the downside as we're in this major support area. In the next few days, we're going to know if we're going massively bullish or massively bearish. Also on Ethereum, we're in the exact same level where we're trying to break to the downside. We're failing. We're trying to break to the upside in this valley area and we're failing. Plus the MACD histogram, we're going to need to see ticks up above the zero line to confirm that we are in this bullish market. Plus, I have a lot of crypto news to go through with you today, so make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video. If you haven't already, like the video, make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment if you're enjoying these daily videos. In crypto news today, recently released independent order of Tether has disclosed that it's holding a total of $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin in its assets. Now, how Tether works is when you convert your money into Tether, they're using that money to go out and buy other assets. You can see that right here, they have $53 billion worth of US treasuries. So what they're doing is they're using your saving funds that you're putting into USDT and then investing it into all these different assets, different money market funds, cash and bank deposits, non-US treasury bills, US treasury bills, also buying corporate bonds, precious metal, Bitcoin, other investments, secured loans. And you can see that they're making hundreds of millions of dollars just off using your money and then investing it elsewhere. Because if you're just holding USDT, say in your Binance account, then you're not gaining any interest on that account. What they're doing is grabbing that money and investing it for you. This is quite bullish to actually show that Tether is not just owning a lot of cash in US Treasury, they're actually investing it back into the crypto market. One thing I also want to say is that these US Treasury bills, since in the United States, have been talking about the potential of default as they continuously keep rising the debt ceiling, then this money, that $53 billion that's invested, is not absolutely risk-free, because if the United States have a major collapse, then these US Treasury bills are going to also collapse. A lot of the money in the bank deposits that they have is going to have a major collapse. So this is not risk-free. So it is good to see that they're actually investing it back into the crypto market, but it is also scary to see that a large percent of their assets are actually tied to the US government. And if the US government has a major collapse, then what's going to happen to Tether? Then they could also have a major collapse. Next, former PayPal president says, I've decided to dedicate the rest of my life building on Bitcoin and specifically on the Lightning blockchain. So it's amazing to see that a lot of these massive CEOs, presidents of these major corporations are actually shifting away from the original financial system to take on Bitcoin and the future of the financial system. Let's also go over this fantastic tweet by Alex Becker. Crypto is not just boring right now, it's embarrassing. The final effort move on capitulation is coming as the hype completely wipes out. This is where you'll make the money buying with relatively low risk. Not yet, but soon the easiest 50x in history. In short, as everyone takes down their NFT, PFPs, changes their Twitter crypto titles and removes ETH from their brand, this is when you want to start getting active again. And he is 100% right. In these movements, when crypto's just going sideways to slightly down, a lot of people over Bitcoin, over crypto, they're saying, we're not back in this bull market. It's going to be so many years. And they just shift away, going back to their old jobs. This is the time that you need to be building. This is the time that you need to be spending time finding these altcoins that have that massive potential in the market. Because that's when, as soon as Bitcoin starts to come up, everyone then rushes back in. And if you're already accumulating the correct coins, then everyone's going to rush in and basically be pumping your portfolio. And in breaking news, FTX sues Sam Bankman-Fried. The lawyers are suing Sam Bankman-Fried for $220 million right now, which is amazing to see. Plus, in breaking news in Australia, Westpac, Australia's oldest bank, bans all payments to Binance and several other cryptocurrency exchanges. The bank said it is blocking a number of cryptocurrency exchanges as part of a trial to reduce scam losses. And that's just funny to see. They're trying to reduce scam losses while they're basically scamming you on your money. So it is very unfortunate for a lot of Australian citizens that have money in their banks and they're trying to get out of the banking system and into crypto. They're basically being blocked by the government, by the banks, by the biggest institutions available. And that's why I truly believe that crypto is going to be the #1 financial system in the future. Before we do technical analysis on crypto, make sure you've liked the video, make sure you're subscribed, and also leave a comment if you're enjoying these daily crypto videos. Now coming over to the price of Bitcoin, you can see that we are in this major support area. We've been trying to break to the upside. We've been trying to break to the downside. We've basically been moving sideways for the last week. As you would know in my previous video, this has been the end of the 60-day Bitcoin cycle, and we're currently in a new 60-day Bitcoin cycle, which it showed us in the past that it is right-hand translated, as that was what the last 60-day cycle has shown us. And what that means is the next 60-day cycle has the highest probability of continuing to the upside, but again, trading is not a 100% game. We're just playing probabilities with risk to reward to find our true trading expectancy. A lot of people are getting antsy because we're trying to break to the upside, but we came back in this valley area and a lot of people were selling. Now we're coming down to the downside and retesting these value zones, but there are buyers coming back into the market. So we're still in that trading range area, and we need to wait for a really strong confirmation before we get long or before we get short. We'll know that below this bar is where we want to get short, and above these bars is where we want to get long, as we should have that major breakout level soon. The more time that we actually stay sideways, it's sort of like a coil in a spring. The more you compress the spring, compress the spring, compress the spring, as soon as you let go of the spring absolutely jumps to the sky. So that's what we're expecting. With this compression is not bad, because soon we're going to expect a major breakout in either direction. Again, with probabilities, I am expecting that higher probability play to be to the upside. Now looking at the 4-hour chart, you can see that we're basically in this trading range area. We've been failing to break to the upside right in these areas here, and we've been failing to break to the downside, downside, downside. We are getting some wicks in these areas, but they are reversing quite quickly, which is showing, again, we are in that trading range action. And if it's not confirmed by price, it's also confirmed by the exponential moving average. You can see through here, the exponential moving average was to the downside, which means every time we come back in these valley areas, the high probability play would be to short to the downside. Even in this area here, there was a decent play to again short to the downside, but we broke above that. And you can see, look at what the exponential moving average is doing. We're going slightly up, slightly down, slightly up. The other day we were up, now we're down slightly. So we are moving in this sideways direction. And what that sideways direction means is if we're in a trading range now, all we can trade is trading range price action. We can't expect these major breakouts just yet. They will be confirmed for us. And that's why you can see a lot of buyers in this area. They know that we're having trading range price action, especially shown by the exponential moving average. So when you do get breaks to the downside, that's a perfect area to get out of your shorts, or then to get long for retest to the upside back into these value zones. People are going to be selling high, buying low, and scalping when we're in that trading range price action. So you need to understand what people are looking for. If through here we were breaking to the downside, also shown by the exponential moving average, having that downward slope, it then means that people are more looking for shorts than they are looking for longs. And they're also willing to hold their positions for longer, as they know that the high probability is that we're going to the downside, since the slope of the exponential moving average is moving to the downside. But in this area here, when we're only getting sideways action and we're failing to break above, we're failing to break below, a lot of traders are understanding that, and they're just getting in and out of the market rather than holding right now and expecting massive breakouts in either direction, because haven't got it right now, and we're not expecting that until we get a confirmation. Now coming over to the Ethereum price, we are continuously getting moves to the upside on the MACD histogram. We had multiple days, 8 days in a row of downside action showed by these red bars. But when the red flips to white, it means that we are growing to the upside, and there is more momentum and more volume being bought than there is being sold. So what we really want to see the massive upside breakout would be the MACD histogram come above this zero line and actually break into these green zones here. Get a big bar, big bar, big bar, and get that continuous growing action to the upside. But we have not seen that just yet. We've been breaking to the downside, breaking to the upside, breaking to the downside, breaking to the upside. We haven't got that confirmation yet, but with this end of the 60-day cycle, we're basically coiling up right before, as this next 60-day cycle is confirming in the market. The reason I knew that we'd have a massive stall in this area is based on price resistance and support levels. In the past, you can see here, we had resistance, 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 resistance. We were failing to break to the upside, but we then did get that massive upside breakout. And what happens when a resistance gets flipped? It now becomes a support level, and people want to be buying in this area. They want to be buying in this area. Reason being is once a resistance gets broken through, it flips as a support level, because that's where traders are looking to exit and enter the market. Let me explain it this way. So right here, there were a lot of traders that got short. In these areas, people were thinking, yeah, we're at a resistance level, let's get short in the market. And once they got this massive upside breakout, they were still holding short in the market. So what happens when price does come back into that area and they're finally able to get out for break even on these trades? They get out of these trades. How do you get out of a short? When you've shorted in the market, to get out of the market, you need to buy. You need to buy back your position. And that's what's happening here. People are buying back their positions. So not only are we getting new entrants coming in, buying in the market, but we're getting old entrants that have been holding for nearly 30 days, finally coming back to their price. And when it does, they have to buy back in the market because they're in their short position. So we're getting that double momentum. And that's why it is showing me right now that that high probability play would to be break to the upside, but we just haven't got that confirmation yet. Especially, we did have this small little trend line break. So we had this trend line that was traveling to the downside and we were getting tests, retests, and then we did get this little breakthrough here, which shows that we do have a slightly higher probability. So we've got trend lines breaking, we've got support and resistance. We've also got on the 4-hour that MACD divergence that I've shown you, but I will show you again. So we're getting multiple confluence zones in this area saying there is a high potential to actually go long in this market. Now coming over and looking at the 4-hour price of Bitcoin. Through this area, we had a strong downturn, also showed by this MACD histogram getting a big downturn. Then we got a lower low in price, but we actually got a higher low on the MACD indicator. As we never went below this low, we made a higher low. So what it's showing is we're having a divergence. We're getting a lower low in price, but we're getting a higher low on the MACD indicator, which signals to us a long market is really good right now. So a lot of people were entering right here because that was the signal and getting a 5% trade to the upside. But again, showed by the exponential moving average how we're traveling sideways and we're not traveling down like in here where we had high probability for shorts, high probability for shorts. Right now, there is no high probability for shorts or longs, especially on this 4-hour market, as we're just traveling sideways. What a lot of people are doing when we're in that sideways market is they're scalping. Reason being is they're selling high and they're buying low, selling high, buying low. You can see why this area through here actually got a lot of buyers is because that's the bottom of the trading range. People aren't expecting that massive downside breakout because the exponential moving average isn't showing us that that's the high probability play. What it is showing us is that we're in a trading range. And when you're in a trading range, you need to be scalping. You need to be in and out quite quickly. Get out at the top of the range, sell short, get back out at the bottom of the range and buy high, buy low. So that's always the goal in trading, is to buy low and sell high. It really is that simple. So the next few days are going to be extremely exciting as we're really going to know which way we need to trade these markets, and then we can finally hold a position and hold it for multiple days, not be scalping in and out of the market. We'll be able to buy and we'll be able to hold, or we'll be able to short and we'll also be able to hold that position. But again, it hasn't been confirmed just yet. Everyone's buying low and selling high right now. Nobody is really holding for these long-term moves just yet, but we will get that confirmation in a couple of days. I really hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'll see you in tomorrow's video.